Texas lawmakers proudly taking the oath of office today in the House chamber. The House of Representatives members elected a new Speaker of the House, Republican from Beaumont, Representative Dade Phelan. And over in the Senate, Granbury Republican Senator Brian Birdwell elected President pro tem. That means he'll be in charge of the state Senate when Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is not available. KVUE political anchor Ashley Goudeau joins us live. She was inside the Capitol for today's ceremonies. And Ashley, it's going to be a legislative session like no other. What was it like out there today?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement to make, Brian. As you would imagine, things were quite a bit different with COVID-19. For starters, the number of people as well as the number of media allowed inside the actual chambers today was limited. The Senate has even tougher restrictions as far as how many people can get into that chamber, so much so that, our team was not even allowed to go inside. We were, however, allowed in the House of Representatives. Now, instead of our usual seats on the floor, we were restricted to the gallery. Normally the gallery is filled to capacity with visitors for the opening day of the session. There's people always all over the floor as well, but you can see that that was not the case this year. Like on the floor, usually you see the members with their family members, their special guests, but all of those folks were seated outside of the rail. Plexiglass is now up around the staffers, and every member has a bottle of hand sanitizer on their desk. As for the lawmakers, they seem just as happy as they are on any other opening day, sharing those hugs and laughs with each other on today.
All right, Ashley, again, this was a big day. Lawmakers have a lot of serious work ahead of them. They are required by the state constitution to pass that balanced budget. That's coming up soon, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. So again, all of the love and the happiness and the smiles that we saw today, sometimes those tensions can rise over the next 140 days of this legislative session with all of the serious work that is ahead. So you mentioned the balanced budget. They're constitutionally required to do that. They also, by the Texas Constitution, have to redraw those lines for the congressional districts as well as the state districts. And of course, this is all happening in the middle of a pandemic. Texans are suffering, businesses are closing, and a lot of people are looking for the government to the government for help and for them to take some sort of action. Education and health care are always key issues for lawmakers, and that will be amplified this session. But even how the chambers do their business will be tested by the pandemic. At this point, it's still unclear exactly what procedures will be in place when it comes to the hearings where the public comes to testify to their lawmakers about the bills they're considering. Both chambers still have to pass rules, and even when they do, as we are in the pandemic, those rules could change, as time goes on. And so even if all of these issues weren't enough, Brian, this is Texas and this is Texas politics. And so we know there's going to be a controversial bill or two that will make it out and be up for discussion. So lots for us to watch.
And we'll be watching you, Ashley. It is a joy to hear your voice once again here on KVUE News at 6. And I'm glad you're back just in time for this session to bring us through all the details. Thanks.